Okay, so this is pretty much how I figured out the size that we would need, that I would need the acetate for. And like I said, you will be using a whole sheet of acetate. It's a little bit of a waste, but the end result is super, super awesome. Because as on my gingerbread card, it goes all the way around. That's how it gets the, you don't see any glue or anything on the side, and you're able to make a full jar where you can actually stick cookies or whatever inside now. So, and this is just a regular 8.5 by 11, and these are actually, they're acetate, but I got them from one of the big box office stores, and they're under transparencies. So sometimes if you ask them for acetate, they might not know what you're talking about, so ask them for transparencies. And these are made so you can print stuff and show them on the overhead projectors, and back in them olden days, if you guys remember those. Some of you, you know, that's what we used to have in school. So, lengthwise is 8.5 by 11. What I did is I went ahead and took my die, and this is the, once again, it's the Top Dog Dies mason jar. So, and the reason I use this one and I don't use the other, the wafer thin die, is because being the steel rule, you cut through thicker surfaces, and being that this acetate is pretty thick, I don't want to mess with that. So the width of it is the actual width, and let me see, oops, sorry about that. I have this one. I actually still have this, if you guys remember this from my mason jar die comparison. This is 7 by 4 5/8. So 7 by 4 and 5/8 is about here. It's right past the 4.5 line. So here it is, and hopefully you can see it. And I actually drew with the white gel pen little sections right here, because sometimes you can't see it, and depending on, I want to maximize the paper that I use, or the use of the paper or the chipboard, so that way I know, like, look, this is the closest I can get and not use up so much paper. So it's 4 5/8, and 5/8 is, if I can, okay, 4 5/8 right here. Oops, sorry, once again. 4 5/8. So the closest measurement-wise that would be easier for me to just remember is 4.5. So if you scoot the ruler over and you see 4.5, it fits perfectly in within the two blades that you want to keep it around, keep it within, so you can just fold that over and it becomes your mason jar. Now you lose like a little bit of definition right here, but it really does not make much of a difference. People will be more distracted by the cute little things you put in the jar. As opposed to, you know, everything else. So, so yeah. So you want your acetate piece to be folded. Once it's folded and everything scored and folded, to be less than 4.5 inches or less. So, with that said, let's see here. Okay, so now that we have the 4.5 measurement width that we need, we're going to go ahead and divide. Figured out what section, that's when I figured out what section I need. And in truth be told, what I did was, on the Martha Stewart scoreboard, it has where you can have the center and then go off sideways. So basically I just took 4.5 divided by half, and that's 2 1/4. So I knew I had to go 2 1/4 each way, and that's where I scored. So to keep these measurements easy, the score lines came out to be 3 1/4 and 7 3/4. So that's where you're going to take your full sheet of acetate, lay it on the landscape side, and you're going to score at 3 1/4. Let me see. And it's going to take a few times because it's pretty thick acetate. 3 1/4, and you want to be able to fold it, and then 7 3/4. And other than whatever mats and other pieces you're going to cut, that is the major cutting. And sorry for the glare, but I think the glare helps you see what we are looking at. So you now have 3 sections, and this is 4.5 inches wide. So once we fold this and score it, it'll fit within the die. So let's go ahead and do that. And you want to be very careful with your acetate, because it you will end up getting scratches and everything. That's one of the reasons I really like my Teflon bone folder. So you just kind of want to get around to where fold it where that section is, and then take your bone folder and fold it I'm right-handed, so it's easier for me to turn everything to the right and score it, or, you know, paint, color, whatever. And that is my major secret. And try not to do that so much with the acetate because it will scratch it. So this is, and now we measure it. We are dealing with a 4.5 inch wide piece of folded acetate. And now, this, now that I have this, this you can see now, this is how you can either fold it or, and this is what will house the piece of vellum or whatever color you want in the background, or nothing really. If you fill it with stuff, you won't even see these lines really in the jar. So you can actually have just a clear jar. Just be careful where you position the things inside so you can glue it to the card. So since we know that this is 4.5 inches wide, for this cardstock or vellum to actually fit in here, you have to cut it. Oops, if I can fit it right. Cut the sheet of paper a hair less than 4.5. So 4.5, that's our measurement that we're going by. You're going to cut it just a little bit before, maybe the 1/16th line on your paper trimmer or anything, right before. So right before the 4.5 line. That way it can fit. See, it slides in perfectly and fits. Like I said, you do lose a little bit of definition, but everything else is so cool. That's the least of our concerns. But that is how I made that. And now all I do is, at this point, I do flip it over so the cut edge is going to be on the front. And then, and this is where the lines that I put in here come in very handy. You align them right in between the blades. You see the line right there? That's the blade, and that's the blade. And then you just run that puppy through your Cuttlebug or Big Shot or Big Kick or whatever the kick. Okay, so I had to grab my Big Shot. So here we go again, like I said, right in between the blades here and the blade here. And I went ahead and taped it. I did tape it because, in case it shifts because of its acetate or anything, and that way it's much easier for you to handle. Okay, so let's go ahead and run it through. I'm running through my Big Shot. As you can see, my cutting plates are massively used and whatnot. And I've tried all of the options that people have shown and everything for, you know, to kind of renew your plates and everything. Really didn't work for me. More of a hassle. I can use my coupon and, you know, spend $4 for it. So anyway, so here is what you end up with. And if you end up with these two sections, this means we did it right, because it cut past this and that's what's left over. So we're going to discard that. And here you are. Here's the jar card. Like I said, I did face it down so it has the front, and that is right here. And there it goes. And it slips right in there, and you can use it as a pouch or whatnot right there. But that is how I figured it out. Hopefully that helps you guys. Like I said, remember that the width is going to be 4.5, and the inside section is going to be, see, look, I'll show you guys right here. Less than that. So you're going to cut all of that, but it's going to be less than this right here. So then when you run this as well, make sure you place the paper right in between the blades as well, and run it through, and you are set to go. So to give this Christmas jar a kind of that blue tone that you guys know I love out of the for the blue mason jar that I've used before, I'm gonna go ahead and use this paper, and this is this sheet from the collection, and this one has these really cute Christmas trees and everything. It's a beautiful little background, so I believe that with this it would look perfectly in front of behind the jars. Gives that blue kind of like tint to it, and you still get to use your paper. Now the back of it has this gold glitter print. I was going to use this, but I feel like it distracts a little too much, or it's just too busy. So like I said, since the width of the jar was 4.5, we're going to go ahead and cut this. I love this cutter. I really wish that they still had it. I got this one from Stampin' Up. I really wish they still had it. So here is 4.5. So we're at 4.5, and like I said, you're going to cut it 1/16 less, or even if you go a little bit more, it's fine. Let me bring it up closer. See right there? That's the 4.5, 1/16, and this would be the 1/8 right there. So we're going to do the 1/16. Now, the reason why I'm going to go ahead and do the 1/16 first, because if it fits and it's perfect, we will just go from there. If not, we will do the 1/8. So to test it, we're going to take the acetate that we already cut and just insert it, and look at that. Slides in perfectly. Okay, so here we have the paper now, and let's see, I'm trying to position it, and you can see right here the space is bigger than when we did the acetate, and that's perfect because that is what you want to make sure. And let me flip it over because I want that side. I'm very particular about that. I think I'm crazy. I want the die cut section to be where it cuts into it to be facing forward. Okay, so here we go. We have, you see it's all the way along. You want to make sure you maneuver it so you have the same amount of space going all the way down. And since I can't find my washi tape, we're just going to use some tape yet again to hold these down. You have to, because you don't want them to shift in any way while you run them through your die cut machine. Let me grab the other plate. Okay. Alrighty, let me see. Oh, there it is. No wonder I couldn't find it. Wow, you see? Stuff happens. It's a good thing I have tons of them. So we're gonna go ahead and put it through. So here we go. And once again, here's the top part, and here is the bottom part that was cut out. Get rid of that, and once again, we're going to, and for some reason I do it through the top of the jar, like it really makes a difference. And see, there you go. There it is. You can use the glitter side. That actually looks super cool. You can make an awesome little snow globe and make it look like a snow globe, since the glitter is kind of floating about. Look at that, see? Or the way I intended it here. Here is our little jar, and this is where the cookies are going to go, and they can go either way. I mean, the candy cane bones, and you see it gives a nice backdrop. It's not so busy, not so crazy. And here you can also, let's see, I think it still takes away from it. So but yeah, you can use it. Like, how cute would that be? You put little deers and everything and have a cute little snow globe, and the glitter's already floating about. That's actually pretty cool. You can do that with just regular glitter paper as well. So the next thing is, since this is, oh, and here, I went ahead and put the candy cane doggy treats in the little jar. I die cut it on the, let's see here, what's the paper? That paper right there, and then I also die cut it in white and covered it. Distressed it with some red ink, just some random red ink. And went ahead with my stylus tool. This big one, once again, going around like I did the gingerbread cookies. It gives it shape, and it gives it more definition. And that way, when you put them in, it kind of resists a little more, and it stands up. And it gives the jar a little bit more of dimension as well. So, since they're open on top, it's open on top, and it is open at the bottom. This is what we do. This is what I did. I will go ahead and pick, depending on whatever the project is, a banner, a die cut or something. I got this. I went ahead and took this cutout, and I fussy cut it a little bit, distress it with the same red ink. And so to close the bottom, we're going to go ahead and place this here. So this will be like a little thing. Now, yes, it would look really cute there, but we still need something here to close the jar. And so, but the other option you do have is getting a label, putting it there, and then finding something else to put at the bottom. But I wanted the candy canes to show more, the candy cane bones to show more. So you go ahead and you glue this, and I've already popped it up on some foam. All I did was, after cutting it out, I laid it down, traced it, and cut around to get this one whole piece. So we go ahead and put it here. We put it down. But what you want to look for is, behind it, you'll be able to glue down here, and this covers it because it's acetate, so it's see-through, and it'll cover it. So let's go ahead and just do that. I will go ahead and push these things up, and let's see. It's going to go right here. You don't want it to go too far because you do want it, if you want it to stand or not. So it's going to go across here. So basically 1/2 inch into the jar, we are going to lift up the acetate panel, the front panel, if I can get this separated. Oh my goodness. Here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and use hot glue because it's acetate, so it'll glue better. So then you press it down. If you press it down fast enough, it's almost see-through. You can barely see it right there. And like I said, either way, it's going to have this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and this you can put glue all over because it's not going to be seen. And we're just going to place it right there, press it down, and there you go. Now your jar is already will not open from the bottom. See, and all of your little candies will go there. So candies, cookies, whatever it is you want to put. And yes, the label in the middle would be perfect, but this way I don't have to look for another banner and I can use that. So as far as the top, to close off this section, all I did was take some jute twine, some ribbon, some lace, whatever you want to do. Take it, tie a knot, tie a bow, put a clip on it, whatever you want. And there you go, that keeps them in. And you still can open it up and take the items out. Okay, so let's try to get this card finished, okay? So after I put the Merry Christmas on here, I went ahead and just put some jute twine around there and put this tag. Now this tag I made, and I used some of these snowflakes. Now the snowflakes come from this Magnolia Doohickey die. I used this one, and you'll see that momentarily, and I used a little mini snowflake. I totally love it. So I wanted a little tag hanging from there, and I used the wood grain paper is this one right here. It's the back of that, the snow globe. So I used both of them. And then the sweet treats came from this cutout. I just went ahead and used this section, this little sentiment, and I layered them on foam and then made them dimensional and then I layered them on red paper, red cardstock, and just cut around. So, and I put a few little sequins right there that I got from Elise. Thank you, Elise. So if you can see the little snowman, there's glitter in the glossy accents. I made regular ones, and I usually, when I'm going to glossy accent something, I tape it or I glue it to just cardstock so I can move it around, make sure I get a good surface. But I'm like, I think it would be really cute if it had snow. So I tried it several different ways. I went ahead and put the glitter on the paper, and then I put the glossy accents and then sprinkled the glitter. But I didn't like the fact that it kind of just laid there. So I went ahead and just took a pin and just slowly swerved it around, and it looks like it's inside. And you really can't see it that well sometimes, but when you move it, the light hits it and see. And sometimes you can see it, but I absolutely love it. And it looks like it's in there. I was actually going to do another layer of glossy accents, but I'm like, no, this is really cute, and I really like the way it came out. So there, I got my snow globe. Okay, so we went ahead and put the treats inside, and like I showed you, you can still take some in and out. So yeah, so my candy cane treats there, doggy treats. And I just put another little snowflake here and here. I totally love that snowflake, that die. So the card is just a, the card is 5x7. So basically I just use an 8.5 by 11 paper. And wait, is it 5x7? 5x7.5, sorry. 5x7.5, and then I just layered some of this other cardstock, this sweater print cardstock, and it's this one right here. So, to give it a nice background, I went ahead and did it here. So, let's say if this is what you want, you got your jar, you have your card, and you are set to go. So that's it. You really, if you want it to be like that, it's perfect. It'll stand. It's really good. You can still take the treats in and out. But we're going to go ahead and do it all the way. We're going to go ahead and make it the easel card with using the acetate. So traditionally when you make an easel card, this is the base and this is the top, and it folds. And it folds right here, and then it stands like this. But what we're going to do is actually, since this is acetate, and when I tried it, it didn't work, we're going to glue the paper in a different way. It's basically going to look like this, And then when you stand it up, this is how the acetate is going to bend. So the acetate is just bending. We're not going to score it because it didn't really work out for me. So we're going to do it like this, and then it just stands that way. Okay, so let me go ahead and start with this. And I just totally lost the little section. So I went ahead and cut out a little section, and this is, and I put it 1 7/8 up the way here, and I went ahead and cut the piece of paper that matched it perfectly. So we're just going to place it there. We're going to go ahead and grab the glue gun. It's just better to glue with when you do foam. And there it is. And I picked this print because, I mean, I chose to do it so it kind of just hides there. It just kind of hides completely there. So we're going to flip over. Now I haven't even glued this. Like seriously, this is just still open like that. So I'm just going to put a little thing of glue right there and press it, and it's going to close it and hold it, okay? I could probably put some more down here, just for good measure, and press it quickly. And the quicker you press it, the flatter it gets and the clearer it seems along with everything. So we're going to put some up here as well. Okay, and you still have your opening jar. Okay, so this is the back, and what we're going to do is the piece of acetate that I used is 2x5, if I can grab it. It's 2x5, and I'll grab this black piece of cardstock again. So what we're going to do is glue it to the bottom of this, glue it to here, and then this part, we're going to glue it right here. And this part, glue the bottom part to the bottom of the jar, and then glue this to the card. So it'll be, ideally, we're looking at it this way. Therefore, when it stands, it'll be like this. So, and this is just trial and error the way I did it, to get it to work for me. So this is 2x5. So I went ahead and put some hot glue on that, and we're going to turn it over. And you can't see it, but there it is. And all we're going to do at this point, you're going to place your jar where you want it, okay? And you can even hold the acetate down with your hand, and you can see when it stands the way it'll look, okay? If I can get it to, there we go. Nope. It'll stand right there. I'm holding it too close. Let me see here. And there you go. Okay. And I don't like my easel cards to stand straight up. I like them to kind of have a little bit of a bend, so they can be seen more at an angle. Okay. So let me go ahead, and I think I'm missing something. Hold on. Oh yeah. So we're not only just going to glue to the bottom, we're going to glue it about, maybe about 1.5 inches up. So that way, I knew I was missing something. That way it stands up better. So let's try this again, okay? See, this is basically how I figured it out the first time. There we go. Okay. So all we're going to do now is make sure that you might want to use like a little piece of cardstock just to kind of see where it is. And we will just put hot glue across. And let me get another glue stick. And the good thing is the glare on it this time is a good thing. So we're going to just, you don't want to put it too far because then it leaks off to the sides. So you can take it off with it. You can tell I've used hot glue in my life. It'll leak off to the sides and glue the actual card down. So you're just going to place it, press it, and let me make sure, yep, it glued. Because sometimes, if you're waiting forever, it doesn't glue. And it's really cold in Las Vegas right now. Well, it's early in the morning too, so there it is. And ta-da! Oh, you can't even see it. There is the card. Now, you can also get it to stand a little. Let me see. Let's bend it down a little bit. Here we go. Okay. so that way it stands. And there you go. That is how I made the acetate easel card, because like I said, I tried to score it and it just didn't work out the same way that you would want it to. And I try not to make the top of the jar so top heavy because it'll basically go back down, okay? But look, it actually has movement. Little tag there, okay. So there we go. So that is set. Now, the way I made it to hold, because if you have the card like this, it's going to fall, the jar is going to come right down. So I went ahead and made, this is what I made using the little die. I layered several of these, this is 3 of them, and then the colored cardstock, and this is the heavyweight cardstock, and then I just layered some snowflakes there. I was just going to put 1, but I feel that with all the movement, it might actually damage it. So, and this is going to go here. So you always want to pick whether you want to use a clothespin or anything like that to place it, and then figure out where it's going to go. So basically that's what I'm like, okay, we're going to put it right there, and it's going to swivel out this way. So I went ahead and took this one. Conveniently, the reason I use this because it has a little hole, it's a little tag. I figured out where I wanted it, and then I drew a little point right there. So since the card base was already done, I had to go ahead and get my Cricut spatula, and you can do this beforehand, but you guys, I totally forgot. And just basically, you know, just shimmy it in there and pop it open, okay? So what we have is, I got a little brad. I want something small. I don't want anything blingy or anything, just simple. So I put it through there. I went ahead and lifted the paper up, and I went ahead with paper. You can either do a paper piercer or a punch. Made a little hole for the little thing to go through where you marked it originally. And you can use just about anything, like I said, a clothespin and everything. And once you turn it over, it's going to look like it's part of the decoration for the jar. So there it is. Oh, I'm not even in camera. There it is. I go ahead and open it. Of course, this isn't going to be easy. Boom. I'm going to go ahead and grab this little pin just to spread it. You can use a piercer or whatnot. And then I flatten it, press it down a little bit just to make sure it flattens, okay? And there it is. So what we're going to do though with this, we're going to re-glue this once I do it, but I'm going to just add a little tab of hot glue right there, and then we're going to re-adhere it to the card. The reason for the hot glue is to keep the brad in place. And yes, so here it is. Like I said, when it's standing, it's going to look, and there you go. Now, well, of course, it's going to be top heavy. So, but there it is, and that's how I got it to stand. I got it to stand there. So, sorry this isn't like sped up. Like I said, I like doing them in real time, so I have everything prepared just to kind of show you. So there it is, and then we're going to go ahead and just swivel it out, and then it stands. And then just keep this out of the way, you can swivel it back underneath, and see right there, and your card stands. Now, if you want to try, you can also put this a little bit farther back, and then it would, like, let's say, it would stand up more. But I would use the same principle of how I place the acetate. But if you wanted to push this back a little more, it would stand straight up. Okay? So that's, like I said, that hopefully that helps. And this is for a 5 by 7.5 card. And the other measurements work better that way. Like I said, it's just a matter of kind of playing with it and trying to figure it out. And I just had an extra die cut, so I put it there. But that is the dog and treat. So you guys, please go ahead and make sure you guys check out the artattacksupplies.com store. I will leave the link in the description. First, I'm going to be doing a video of this, and then I will do, because I think it's going to be way too long to put it together with the actual DT project video. So yes, I hope you like it. Let me know what you guys think. I hope I described things well enough, and I'm sorry I did them in different times, and it took me a while to put this video up. Like I said, it's time-consuming. It was time-consuming for me to try to figure everything out. But not only that, if I could sit down and do it, I can get it done faster. Now, let's say this card, since I know now what I want, like this gingerbread card, I guarantee you I can sit down and make it in like 20-30 minutes now. But because I have all of the measurements and everything factored out, this, now that I have it set and done, I can sit there and make an assembly line and make tons of them. But because I figured out everything that I need to figure out instead of going one by one. And a lot of the times I do try to think of my own ways of making things or making things work, and I'm more than glad to share my little bit of craziness with you guys. But so yeah, that's my card, and I'm trying to get some bones out right now. Here, I'm just gonna move that right now. So yeah, it's just to show you all of the, oops, not very good demonstration there, but all of the bones come out. And you don't have to. I mean, you can glue the bones inside and everything, but I feel like this is kind of cute. It's a cool idea, and the person receiving it, I'm just gonna stop playing with it. The person receiving it can use this for their projects or whatever. So yeah, that is my my 3D mason jar easel card thing. I don't even know what to call this thing, but it's something pretty cool that I thought about, and I put my crazy little mind together to do it, and I hope you guys like it. All right, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, everyone.